When the Beatles parted ways in the summer of 1969, millions of hearts were broken around the world. But Paul Weller, with hindsight, believes the split came at the perfect time. Weller, the former lead singer of The Jam, spoke to us in a new interview about how the Beatles influenced him as a child and how their music influenced him as an adult. As he prepares to launch his 66th solo album on May 24th, the first solo album since 1977 and the 28th of his career, Weller believes the Beatles are the source of his long-lasting inspiration. Mum and Dad had old rock and roll records by Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and Elvis, which I loved, but the Beatles, he said to Mojo, recalling the sound of his childhood. He added, "It isn't an exaggeration to say they changed the world for many, many people, me included." The Style Council founder said that the Beatles were an important and experimental group, broadening the sound and style of music so that it could be enjoyed by the general public. They showed me that there are other possibilities in life, that there isn't just a small town, there's a world out there, and I want to be part of that, to see, to feel, and to experience, like said Weller. They made life possible for ordinary people like me. Weller said that although he was a huge fan of the band, he was relieved that they broke up when they did, although he took the news with a pinch of salt at first. "I was crushed when they broke up, but I am glad they did it now because imagine them playing synth pop back in the 80s. That would have been a shock." In fact, the band broke up in 1970 and went on to define the style of the 1960s decade with 12 studio albums. To this day, the band remains the biggest band of all time with a lasting appeal. Weller argues that this appeal has been preserved and extended because they stopped at the right time and avoided the embarrassment or the hassle of trying to update with the times. The Beatles set the benchmark for the right approach to music. You move on, you experiment, he added, clearly holding the element of moving on as sacred, which is reflected in his own career and reluctance to reunite the Jam.